And we are live for today's session of the Standout Weekly. And today, what I wanted to cover are mindset shifts that are so important that when we go from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, and this is not something that will happen overnight. This is a transition, and you will not be able to say, "Oh, I need to do this mindset shift and this mindset shift." But I just wanted to give you these 8 different things that are to think about and to maybe reflect on after this session about how do you deal with this, or how have you dealt with this, because I also want you to share in the comment section about your own reflections and your own experiences, because I think we learn so much from each other, and I'm so happy that I get to be here with you today. If you don't know me, if this is the first time that you see me or hear me, my name is Josephine Warner, and I'm a former corporate executive turned entrepreneur and LinkedIn growth specialist. And I help my clients to grow their audiences on LinkedIn so that they can build a life that they really want to live. Anyways, so the first mindset shift that we are talking about is um, a really important one, and that is, and I think that so many of us maybe don't do it because we might feel as, oh, I'm not yet ready. But to change the view from a lifestyle business to that you're actually having a real business. And even if you're building your business currently as a side hustle, I would actually try to switch that mindset from that your corporate job, if you're still in a corporate job, that is your side hustle and your business is your real business. So to start taking it really seriously. And in the beginning, when I started my business, I was very proud of saying, oh, it's a lifestyle business. But what that does is that you're only working 24/7 or could work 24/7. So to change that view, even if we think it's a lifestyle business, because you get to create you get to build your business around your life, not the other way around, but still make sure that you treat it as a real business, right? To take those breaks that you so necessarily need. And by the way, before I forget it, I don't want to forget this. I'm running a live masterclass next week, and I will add the link to the masterclass so that you can join the masterclass if you want to. This is where I share my 5-step framework, the LinkedIn growth and success framework that I follow myself and that my clients follow, so that they can attract amazing leads and clients fast. So that, don't forget to register if you haven't already. Anyways, so number one was the shift from thinking that it's a lifestyle business to that this is my business, this is my job, right? Number two, you are the organization. Like, you will now wear all the different hats. You don't have an IT department that you can turn to. You don't have a legal department that you can turn to. You don't have an accounting department that you can turn to. But just because you can do all these things, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should, right? So I'm a former accountant, I'm a former auditor. I could do my own accounting. And I did for a while, until I realized that days before I was about to do the accounting, I was in such a lousy mood, right? And then I realized that I don't really like to do the accounting. So that is a part that I have outsourced. But when we talk about outsourcing, unless it's like accounting or maybe legal, for example, where we don't even have the knowledge to do it ourselves, right? I wouldn't, if you have a problem in your business, I wouldn't, try to outsource it to get rid of the problem. That is another mistake that I have made in my early days of my business. I had a business coach back then who said that you have to be on Pinterest. That is where you grow your business today. And I am never on Pinterest myself. I don't really like Pinterest, and I didn't even know how to use Pinterest. So I thought that the solution to that problem, to solve that problem, is to hire someone to do Pinterest for me. That is not how you solve the problem. If you really think you need to be on a certain platform, make sure you learn the platform yourself first, and then you can outsource it to someone else who does it better than you. Also, when it comes to my YouTube videos, for example, or things like that. So that was number two. Oh, by the way, what I would do, so you can write down all the names, or like all the positions that you have in your business, and you assign names to those positions even if those names would be your own name for now, because that is how you then can see, okay, in which direction do I want to grow my business? Because this is also really important, and that moves me into number 3, which is your schedule needs to be your strategy, right? You need to focus on profit producing tasks, even though I know how safe it can feel to create that another Excel spreadsheet or another planning document. That is not going to necessarily bring in the revenue that you want and need. Even though planning is super important, we can't just, be all over the place, but don't get stuck in creating another Excel spreadsheet. You don't need that, right? So focus on profit producing tasks. Think in terms of imperfection will actually lead to taking action. Don't think it has to be perfect. Just put it out there. Get things done, and then you can always improve as you go. If you're having any questions when you're watching this or something pops up, make sure you add them in the comment section. I will be able to address them either now throughout this live, or I will be able to address them later because I will go back to these live sessions so I can see your questions then. And when we talk about your schedule and that needs to be your strategy, what I really want you to do, and I admit I'm really bad at this myself, is to really prioritize your health, to put in time for yourself, to go for walks, to do sports, whatever it is that you want to do, to make sure that you are the asset now, especially in the beginning when you're building your business. If you're not there, you don't have a business in the beginning. So this is like early stages before we have a larger team. When you are the business, we're talking about solopreneurship, entrepreneur. And even later, because you're probably building your business because you want to have a freedom-based lifestyle. That means you have to prioritize yourself. You have to build your business around you, around your lifestyle, not the other way around. So add movement, add maybe a strategy day or whatever you want to call that day in your calendar. Block that off. That is time when only you, no one can no one can put in the meetings in that time. That hour or those hours, they are for you and for your health. So number 5, so we are already at number 5, and this is something that I became really aware of last week, actually, that I had moved into this client pleasing phase. And instead, think in terms of leading your clients. I'm not saying I wasn't leading my clients before, but I was so into, I really want to, serve them. I want to deliver. I want to over deliver completely, that it started to trickle in and a little bit like weed growing into my boundaries, right? So make sure that you lead your clients. Be the one who shows them how it's done in terms of delivering, in terms of setting boundaries, because it's like when we talk about our kids, right? We can't tell our kids what they should do. We have to show them, and then they will hopefully follow our lead. It's the same thing with your clients. Number 6, and this one, I was a little bit like into this before, but I spoke a little bit about this before. But number 6 is actually to planning and to set goals. And this might sound a little bit woo-woo, to actually also manifest these goals. To think in terms of you're planning your goals, you're setting your goals, your intentions, the experiences that you want to have, and then really believe that this will happen, right? You have to have faith that this will come true. It's the same thing with fear. Fear and faith are equal, right? Neither one of them is actually true, right? Fear hasn't happened yet. It's something we are afraid of. Same thing with faith. Either you decide or you choose to believe it, or you fall into fear. So when you're setting your goals, when you're planning your goals, I like them to be a little bit like stretchy so that we feel a little bit like encouraged to do them. Because if they are too easy to achieve, I don't think you will give as much power to it as you want to. So when you're planning your goals, what I talk to with my clients is like, okay, so where do you want to be in 2 years from now? And then we start working from there. Believe that it will happen, and it will happen. As long as you don't give up, it you have nothing to lose, right? Set your goals, plan your goals, and then go for it. Number 7, your mindset is the business. And this one is super important. Is your mindset, is it how you feel about certain things, about being, I don't know, salesy, about being, um, um, I don't know, putting yourself out there, and people might think certain things about you or assume certain things about you. Or I got a comment earlier today, someone who said, oh, I find it very pushy when I get an instant invitation for a newsletter. Well, that is an automated response from LinkedIn. We can't really do anything about that. But instead, put those mindset blocks that you have, or the mindset challenges aside, and think is my mindset really working for my business? Or is it something about what I believe in? And, we talk about limiting beliefs. Is something that I believe in, is that holding me back? And one of the realizations I had, it's now probably a little bit like a year ago or something like that, I suddenly realized that in my head, I was still believing this old thing that people told us, or my parents told me, that it has to be hard. Like, it has to be hard. You have to work a lot to make money. And subconsciously, that was what I believed in. So every time I had put out an online offer out there and I got it to work, and people were super happy about the results, I told myself that this is not good enough. So I started all over again. And I didn't realize that it wasn't about the offer. It wasn't about the problem that I solved. It was about the feeling that this feels as if it's going a little bit too easy for me now. So that is why I felt that I had to start all over again. And you know how we talk about like limiting beliefs? It's something that we really believe in. So it's very hard to see these things, to really think, because you believe that is true, as I subconsciously believe that it should be true. It should be hard to make money, right? So what are those mindset blocks that you have that are actually standing in your way to build and grow your business? Positivity is not fluff. I feel that positivity is fuel. If you stand in front of the mirror in the morning and you say, I am the best, I am the greatest, I will make this happen, or whatever you want to say, the positive affirmations that you want to do. Or if you stand in front of the mirror in the morning and you say, oh, I feel so bad, I feel so shitty, I feel like everything is against me. Can you see the difference, right? I really believe that when you have a positive mindset, more positive things will happen. You will be open to more opportunities. And it's the same with your mindset. Be open to change, be open to new things, and be open to connect with new people. And then we have the last one. I have a couple of bonus insights later on too. But the number 8 is to really think in terms of investing in yourself and investing in your business. So when I had been working in my business for, I think it was around 2 years, I had a very scary health issue. And up until then, I had thought that, holy cow, my business is taking off and this is really going well. And then this health scare forced me to actually take a huge step back. And during that time that I recovered, what I then also I started to doubt myself. I started to doubt the results that my clients were getting. I started to doubt the leads that were coming in. I doubted everything, and my confidence got a real kind of like um, slap in the face, if you want to put it like that. So what I did then was I invested a lot in myself. I added on coaching, education, coaching training, sales training, and things like that, so that I could then get faster out of that feeling of not being sufficiently confident. So when you are in corporate, because what we're talking about is like moving from the corporate mindset to the employee mindset, you can't just wait. In corporate, we are like waiting and we have to do these mandatory trainings. But when you are an employee, when you are an entrepreneur, you rather need to look into What do I need? What do my business need to move it forward? It can be a coach, it can be a course, it can be a program, it can be your health, whatever it might be that you feel that for me to get to that next level in my business, to propel or take a leap forward, this is what I really truly need. So instead of asking, can I really afford this? Just start asking yourself, can I really afford staying stuck? Like, what is the cost of you staying stuck? What is the cost of you not investing in yourself? And what I also really truly believe is that we as service providers, we as coaches, I honestly believe that if I don't invest in myself, how can I then ask others to invest in themselves so that I can help them grow and grow their business? So I have a couple of bonus insights. So let me just quickly see if there are any questions that have come up. No questions have come up. If you have a question, make sure you add them in the chat, and then I will be able to address them either at the end of this session, or if you're watching the replay of this session, I can respond to the questions then too. So the bonus points I wanted to add is your decision-making speed. When we are in corporate, especially when you are in a large corporation, there can be a lot of review rounds until you actually get to the final decision. And then, or the budgeting process might be a year long, depending on where you are, right? When you're an entrepreneur, you need to take these decisions faster so that you can, if it's a wrong decision, you can always go back and you can redo, right? But if you take longer to wait and to make these decisions, it will take much longer for things to actually happen. Number 2 of the bonus insights is to fail is actually to move forward. So as an employee, and I was in an organization where it was called that we were not allowed to do any mistakes at all. I think it was called like the zero tolerance or something. I can't even remember, which for me is like, oh my God, I've come so far from like leaving that world behind. You as an entrepreneur will learn from your mistakes, right? You cannot go forward if you're too afraid of making mistakes. A couple of mistakes I've made. I blocked or capped the number of people that could join my masterclass. I had over 500 people register for my masterclass. I updated or upgraded the wrong Zoom link, which meant that I capped the Zoom room to 100 people. 400 people were standing almost like banging on the door. Do I do it again? No, I wouldn't do it again. And I think that me actually owning that mistake also gave me a lot of trust with the people. And it even gave me a couple of more clients into that launch that I did back then. So make sure you're out there trying, testing, doing the mistakes, because if you're not failing, you're also not learning. And if you're not learning, how can you then bring those things to your own clients? So dare to do, dare to try, dare to test new ideas. And then zoom out and think in terms of what is the bigger picture? Where do I want to go? What is it that I want to achieve? What is it that I want to experience? And then you move towards that and zoom out fairly often. Because when you are like, and I'm very much task oriented too, I have my list of to-dos, but it's so important to move back and to really think in terms of where are we heading? Is this going in the right direction? And do that every month or every quarter or how often you want to do. Because what will also help you do that, help you realize then, is to actually realize how far you have come on your journey. So let me just quickly recap these 8 shifts that I suggest that you consider. First of all, number 1, the most important one, treat it like a real business. This is not a side hustle. This is not a hobby. This is what you're doing now. You're building a legacy. Number 2, embrace all the roles and then plan to delegate the ones that you don't want to do yourself, the ones that suck the energy out of you. But don't delegate away a problem. You are still the owner of the problem, right? Number 3, work smarter. Focus on profit-producing tasks that will help you to make more revenue faster. Number 4, protect your energy and your health, because that is what we're doing this for. It's a freedom-based lifestyle where you build your business around the lifestyle and the health that you want to have and not the other way around. Number 5, be the client, sorry, be the leader that your clients need. Be the person who shows how it's done, doesn't tell how it's done, but you show how it's done. Number 6, use strategy and belief, like manifestation, believing that this will happen. That is your planning, that is your goal setting. Number 7, your mindset drives your results. So make sure that what you wish for and what you think about is actually positive. And number 8, invest in your own growth, because you are the business now. So those were the 8 mindset shifts that are super important. If you have any questions, if anything pops up when you're watching this, make sure you add it in the comment section below. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this live session, I have the LinkedIn Clarity Masterclass coming up in a week, and I would love to see you there. We have around, I can't really remember, 140 something, maybe even more, that have registered already, and it would be amazing to see you there too. So thank you so much for having me here. And Angela is here with me, and she says, let's lead by example. Super happy to have you here, Angela, and can't wait to see you all next week. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.